When I married Sarah, I truly believed we'd built something solid, something that wouldn't break. We had a modest home, some savings, and plans to start a family. I worked long hours for years, taking extra shifts whenever I could so we'd have a comfortable life. Instead of appreciation, I got betrayal. Sarah started seeing someone else, hiding behind late work nights and outings with friends. Everything fell apart the night. She packed a bag and walked straight into another man's arms. At first, I was devastated. My world crumbled. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't fathom how the woman I loved could replace me so easily. But as the shock faded, something in me hardened. If she wanted to leave, fine. She wasn't going to keep living off what I'd built while playing house with a new lover. The next morning, I went to the bank and closed every joint account. I canceled the credit cards I'd given her. The car that had been in her name was repossessed because it was registered through my company. Within a week, Sarah went from comfort to scrambling for basic needs. I thought that would finish it, but I'd misjudged her. One afternoon, a man in a sharp suit knocked on my door, Sarah's attorney. He demanded I keep supporting her, claiming she'd grown used to a certain lifestyle. I nearly laughed. I told him that lifestyle had been paid for by my sacrifice and loyalty, two things Sarah had thrown away. He tried to threaten me with settlements and spousal support, but I was ready. Every receipt, every bill, every record of overtime was organized and filed. I had documentation showing Sarah had contributed almost nothing financially. I also had proof of the affair, photos, messages, even hotel receipts she'd carelessly left behind. When I slid the file across the table, the lawyer's smug look vanished. He cleared his throat, shuffled papers, and started stammering. He knew exactly what those documents implied. Not only would Sarah get nothing, she could potentially owe me damages for betraying our marriage. Word must have reached her quickly. She called that evening, voice suddenly weak. She said she wanted to talk, to find some middle ground. Her tone was trembling, desperate. She didn't miss me. She missed the money. I didn't give her the satisfaction. I told her calmly the marriage was over, and that once her lawyer realized how badly she played her hand, he wouldn't be calling again. I also told her I would be filing for divorce myself, making sure she walked away with nothing but guilt. The silence on the other end told me she understood. Weeks later, the divorce was finalized. The judge reviewed the case and ruled entirely in my favor. Sarah got nothing, no alimony, no share of my savings, not even the car she thought was hers. Her lawyer didn't even show up for the final hearing. He'd already conceded. I heard through mutual friends that her new man wasn't nearly as generous without my support. Sarah couldn't maintain the lifestyle she'd chased. She had gambled on comfort and greed and lost everything. For me, the bitterness gradually became freedom. I no longer had to carry the burden of someone who only saw me as a wallet. I rebuilt my life, focused on my work, and found peace in knowing I had stood my ground. What Sarah thought would be her upgrade turned into her downfall. She stepped off a cliff with no safety net, and I didn't bother to catch her. In the end, my revenge wasn't theatrical. It was simply reclaiming what was mine and letting her face the consequences of her choices. Sarah learned too late that betrayal costs more than love. It costs comfort, security, and dignity. She walked away with nothing. I walked away stronger. Looking back, I don't regret a single decision. She left me for another man, but I made sure she paid the price. My silence, my preparation, and my refusal accomplished far more than any shouting match ever could.